Welcome to our evening chats with Ray, Ryo, and Little Rae.
Hi, everybody. So it finally happened. I got certified, but not just certified. I got scuba certified, which means that I can go any place I want without an instructor.
You can dive anywhere you would like without an instructor. I guess with boundaries too. So you're open water scuba diver. So what that means is that you don't need an instructor to dive. However, you do need a buddy. So you do need an adult and you do need a buddy to dive at different locations. And there's some restrictions too. Like you can dive up to a certain amount of depth.
Yeah, like 30 feet.
I think, yeah, roughly around there, 40 feet. However, you can't do like a super deep dive. It's more the reef and all that stuff. But one can argue that a lot of the deeper dives, although they're cool, there's a lot of people that actually prefer the reef. So it's going to be awesome. And you did a lot, like that certification process. What did you do on that?
So what I did was that I had to take an online test first. Which you had like, okay, so you know when your teacher like gives you this like video, she puts it on and it has all the answers in it, and you take a test about that video. Well, that's exactly the same thing, except it's like different parts and different videos to show you like what's the safety, how to do this, not to touch animals, the hand signs and all that. So I passed all that. And after you have to take this like huge test that has all the same answers with it except no videos. So after you have to take like the class and you have to sit down and then you have to learn all that. Well, it's the same thing except with scuba diving. So I had to do that and I had to learn like what problems, and if this problem happens, what do you do? Or if this problem happened, then what do you do? And I had to learn all that and learn all the basics and all that. So I did that, and after like a week, you have to do this pool session where you actually get the tanks, you learn how to put it on, you learn how to strap in your tank with your BCD, and then you go inside the pool. And then you just see if you're calm, if you're nice, and if you don't want to do it, or if you're not ready, or if you need another session. And then you go to the deep end if you're all good. Then you do laps to see if you're like if you're good at buoyancy, or if you're like struggling but you're good. And after that, you have to do your 2 dives. The first one is to know if you like want to dive and if you keep on wanting it, or it's just like too scary and you don't like it like that, and you don't like going underwater and seeing all that, then you don't have to. You just go and move on with your day. Or if you do like it, then you do the second dive, which is the last dive that you have to do to get certified. And then if you do good and you like it, then you get certified. But if you don't like it, then you don't get certified.
And that can happen within probably within 2 weeks, you can get certified. However, you being a minor and me wanting to be a little bit more, have you a little bit more prepared, like I arrange it so that you take a little bit more time. And you took a long time for it. We wanted to make sure that you had a bunch of dives on your skill. It's like, we treat it like giving you a license, right? It's technically a license. It's like these kids these days, they get these licenses and they think that they're like, they know how to drive. They get a license. Oh, I passed the test or whatever. Let me on the highway. I'm going to drive in this highway. I'm going to drive this vehicle on the highway. It's crazy.
Like driving in the highway, and then they get stuck in traffic, and then the person in front of them just stop, and they just put, and then the crazy driver just goes, how do you stop again? And then the side person's like, what did you do now? And then he's like, I don't know. And then when they're coming back home, they're going back, and then they go, the side person like, what was that? And then the other person, and then the driver says it was the mailman.
So she or they or he ran over a mailman. Exactly. So there's a lot of kids these days that get their license, especially kids. Adults do that too. but they think they know it all and they do all this stuff. So we wanted to treat this certification kind of like driving a car, because a lot of the times when you're diving, you have to be careful. You have to make sure that you're doing it in a safe way where you're comfortable, you're thinking about the situation, and you stay safe. It's a very, very safe sport, but we wanted to make sure that you had a lot of your skills developed and you felt confident. We felt confident that you could do that on your own. And I think that was the best approach to do so, because now when you're in the car and you're driving underwater, you're not running over these mailmans or old people. You know what I mean? Male fishes.
The mailmans, the fishies that are mailmans to the other people.
Exactly.
They deliver seaweed.
So I wanted to make sure that you were safe. And I appreciate you doing that, because it was a little bit tough for you, right? It was once you were going, it was a little bit scary, and you started getting your confidence and going in there. Like, what was scary about the process?
So what I was scared of was if the tank had any malfunctions, or the BCD had any malfunctions, if it didn't have enough weights or had too much weight, or something like pufferfish or swordfish would come out and just puncture my tank, or something's wrong with my tank and I didn't eat and I didn't screw it too much, I didn't screw it enough. Or the animals, I was also scared of the sharks and the pufferfish and the jellyfish and stingrays.
Wait, what do you pufferfish do? What do pufferfishes do except for blow up? How do they attack people?
But if you try to touch them or provoke them, then they'll puff up.
Yeah, it's their defense mechanism. So if you threaten them or you're doing something, they'll puff up, and then they have little spikes, and that's dangerous. So you shouldn't touch a pufferfish. You shouldn't be messing with any animals, but you shouldn't touch a pufferfish.
What I meant by that, just like you said, where they have spikes around them, so it's dangerous to touch them. That's what I meant. How do they attack? How do they defend themselves except for blow up? But you answered it. You said they have spikes.
Mm-hmm.
So when they blow up, it's going all around them. And then when you try to touch the little ball, they go poof. Spike, spike, spike.
The defense mechanism is the spikes. And if you touch them, it could be bad for you. It's venomous for a bunch of animals. However, the dolphins, they're jerks. Because the dolphins, the dolphins, that doesn't do anything for the dolphins. The dolphins,
they use it as a ball.
Yes, you didn't know that?
I just noticed that because I remember where when you said that about the dolphins being jerks. Inside many movies, dolphins are either jumping up and down, annoying the boats, or they're playing with something with their thing, and then they're going wee wee wee.
Yeah.
So I just noticed that if they're jerks, they're obviously just throwing them up like a ball.
Yeah, it's
they're just going wee.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. And then so what happens is, so any other animal, the pufferfish, is dangerous because they have the spikes. But for dolphins, their body accesses that venom. So for them, it gives them, it's basically like a hallucinogen. So that is something that you take or you ingest where it makes you kind of imagine things.
Oh, delusion.
Kind of. Yeah.
So it's like
a squirrel in the road.
No. It's okay.
It's just like when they put that gas in you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
I forgot the name.
Is it laughing gas or
no? It's called something. I'm gonna say amnesia, but that's not what it is. It's
anesthesia.
Anesthesia. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So that's a perfect example, because I have another example, but it's not kid friendly. So yes. So let's say you go to the doctors and they're gonna take out a tooth or a
Always
root
dumb
canal
shoes.
or
Always
whatever,
dumb
and they
shoes.
give you this gas, which is anesthesia, and then you fall asleep, and the next thing you went up, you're like all delirious and you're making all this funny jokes and all that stuff. There's videos about
That's before and after.
yeah, so there's videos of like people laughing because and making funny jokes because they lost their tooth.
Yeah, like this one girl, the doctor told her to put her hand right here and she was singing the anthem.
The national anthem.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, because they have to do that in school.
Yeah, dolphins, when they get bored, it's a bunch of them. They're just having a good time. They're like, oh, hey, there's a pufferfish. Let's play with that ball. So they start hitting the pufferfish, and it makes them hallucinate. It makes them like kind of trippy, and they're having a good time. Like, oh, I'm having a good time. Here you go, Curl. And then he hits the pufferfish to the other person, like, Curl, pass it to me, and they pass it each other. You know, it's like they're playing soccer with each other, and then they kick and they're like, goal.
Except it's with their noses.
It's with their noses, yeah.
Wait, they kick it onto the thing and onto the boat, and then the boat is a goal, and then they're swimming towards it, trying to get their ball back.
Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, back to the certification process and your fear, the fear that you were going. So you were scared of the air tank, like running out of air. You had like fears of essentially your BCD or your equipment failing. And then there's another fear of the animal. So those are perfect examples that you're giving. 3 perfect examples that a lot of new divers is essentially experienced during that certification process. The first thing that they're scared of is I've never been able to breathe underwater, and now I have to tell my brain that I'm breathing underwater, and that scares them. They're like, what happens if I can't breathe underwater? That's fear number 1. Fear number 2 is that now I'm breathing underwater, and I have to put my life on this equipment. And then now they're scared that the equipment might fail, right? And then the third part is, okay, well now I'm breathing underwater. I have my equipment, and then now there's animals that I'm scared of, and they're going to bite me or hurt me. Perfect example.
Hurt my tank
hurt my tank or something like that. Which again, all 3 of those things you shouldn't be necessarily afraid of. When you have your tank, you always have tank, and that's gonna work, right? Like it's always gonna work unless it fails. But if it fails, your number 1 rule is that you dive with somebody, right? You dive with a buddy, and your buddy's gonna be able to help you. That's fear number 1. Tackle, nicked it in the butt, proceed. The second step is you have issues with your dive gear. Well, guess what? What did you learn during the certification process? If something happens to your gear,
something happens to your gear, then you should tell your buddy, and then go up to the boat or the shore to make sure that's okay, and redo it. And then if it's good, then you go back to the water.
Yeah, underwater, you should be able to deal with certain issues that happen with your equipment. Perfect example. We learned a trick, and you haven't experienced that, but we learned a trick where you can take your whole goggles on like the whole you can get it off underwater, and it can fill with water. Yeah, you can take that the thing that has like you can take that underwater and fill your whole face is with water, your mask is with water, and you put your mask back on and it's full of water, and you learn how to take all the water out of the mask underwater.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like this. So it's like just take it off. You put it back on, you close your eyes, then you do this. So then you do this, and then blow really hard, and then you put it back on, and then there's no water.
Yeah. Because you're breathing through your reg, right? And then you can breathe out. So by putting your mask and angling it a little bit and pushing out, you're forcing all that water to come out. So that's one technique that you learn already when you're taking your certification process.
Just, put it on, and you till the thing, you just go.
Yeah, you literally
the water just falls out.
Yeah, you literally see the water go out and fill with oxygen. The oxygen goes in, and then you close it back, and it's just like no water was there. So that's the first thing that we learned. The other thing that you learn when you're dealing with issues is taking your whole equipment out. So they teach you how to take your whole equipment out and then keep your reg in and then put it back on underwater. So if something were to happen with your equipment, you can always take your reg out. As long as your tank is good, You can always take your equipment out. You can always put it back. You can put your mask. So that's problem number 2 solved. And again, worst case scenario, and if it's something a big deal that you can't fix it, what are you going to do?
Check with your buddy that you're going up, so then they can go with you. Get out, check the problem, then go back in.
Yeah, exactly. So if worst case scenario, you can always go up. You have air, you can always go up. The third issue that a lot of the new divers have is the fact that they're scared of animals. They're scared, the pufferfish is going to come get me. It's going to bite me. You know what I mean? And really going to bite you now. Yeah. Animals are not going to come out here and hurt you. If you're behaving and you're respectful of their environment, they're not going to hurt you because we're guests in their zone. They're not going to hurt you. Perfect example, like a shark. We're trained and we're told that sharks are this evil creature and they're very, very dangerous and they just want to eat humans. That's not true. If you're diving, and a lot of the times you dive with sharks, they're not going to do anything to you because you're not part of their food system.
It's only if you like provoke them or you do something or you show them like you're like they think that you're food and you do something, then they're gonna want to eat you.
Yeah.
But if you're blaming all these,
obviously there are precautions that you need to take with sharks. There's precautions you need to take with any animal, but the number one rule is that if you're a guest in their home, if you go to their guest and you're behaving, they're not going to do anything to you. It's like any other person. You go to somebody's house, or if you're going to go to somebody's house, are you going to be at their best behavior? If you knock on somebody's door and you're like, "Hey, I'm Ray. I want to come into your house." And then you go into the house and you start dirtying the house, destroying the plates, jumping on the couches. What do you think the owners of the house are going to do?
Kick you out and call the police, maybe.
Exactly. So it's the same thing with the ocean. When you go into the ocean and you're diving and you're knocking on their environment, their home, you're like, "Hey, pufferfish, can I come visit you in your house?" And you go and you're swimming and you're respectful. You're not breaking their glass. You're not breaking their kitchen. You're not breaking their stuff. You're just there as a good guest. There's not going to be an animal in the world that's going to hurt you because you're respectful. Now, if you're knocking on the door and you're like, "Hey, sharky shark, I'm going to destroy your home or I'm going to pick on you," well, guess what? Something's going to come for you. So a lot of the times, new divers, when you go in and you're learning, if you can get over those 3 things, so those are 3 things they're get afraid of, right? If they can get over that, guess what? Now they can become divers. And once you get a bunch of dives and a couple of dives, something clicks. You start thinking a certain way about diving, and it's not necessarily now that's a new place that you're going. You're going to think about it like your home. A lot of these divers, that have been diving a lot, or even junior divers that that have a couple dives, they get their brain, something in their brain turns on and says, "Oh my God, this is my home. I'm more at peace underwater than what I am outside of the water." So something clicks and they become more in tune with nature. Do you think that happened to you?
Yeah, like I figured that out at Blue Haven.
Blue Heron?
Blue Heron. Like I figured out like that I'm really good at it and like I can do something because I got stung by a jellyfish and then I started panicking and I started like breathing super fast. I started like wasting my oxygen. We go up. I have the highest oxygen out of everybody. And I was at like 2,000. Everybody was at 1,000. Even he was at 1,000. And I had 2,000. So then I just thought that I was good at it and I liked it. And it was fun.
Yeah. How did you get over the fear of being a new diver? Getting scared? What were some of the times you got scared?
Some of the times I got scared was at Blue Heron. I like one time when I was like a beginner and all that, and I went to Blue Heron for my first dive, one of my first dives. I was gonna do this. I felt like I was drowning, and
Was it Blue Heron or Lake Denton?
That was Blue Heron because that was like Lake Denton. I did like twice at the beginning, and then I went to Blue Heron with you guys. Okay. So I felt like that I was like drowning, and I like couldn't go. Like I felt like I like couldn't go. I like really couldn't go. So I just sat there and waited for everybody to finish with my buddy. Like I was drowning, and I like that was one of my fears. And the second was that like one time I thought like at my first beginner, like my first dive ever, like first time ever that I've ever done diving. I went to Lake Denton. I was there. I saw a fish. I freaked out. I saw like it was like this big of a fish, and I freaked out. I started like panicking. I don't know why. And then at my second dive, I saw the turtle doing a backflip, and then I was like, okay, I'm good. Literally, I started panicking over this tiny little thing.
She saw plankton from SpongeBob. She saw plankton, and she's like, oh my God, he's so scary. But believe it or not, like that's awesome. That's awesome that you mentioned that. You got there, and one of your dives, you felt like you were not breathing, and that you called the dive on that. You're like, hey, I don't feel good. I don't think this is okay. And she called the dive. And then the other time she's diving in Lake Denton, which is the first time that she's not diving in a pool, and she sees plankton. And plankton scared her. That poor plankton scared her.
One of his inventions is to make him scary, and it works.
One of his inventions is to make him scary.
Yeah, he's been trying to make everything him like taller and scarier, so that he can destroy the city.
So there you go. It worked.
Yeah.
We gotta call plankton and say, hey, it worked because you scared the bejeebies out of me.
Yeah, but that's because that was like my first dive ever, so I was like scared of everything. I thought anything could like come and get me or bite me or do anything.
Yeah. So that's two fears there. You got fear of the oxygen, you got fear of the
Plankton.
of plankton. Yeah. And then the other fear is the equipment failing. Yeah, which is crazy. So how did you get over it? If you had all these issues and you could have quit, you could have said, no, I'm not going to finish the certification. I'm not going to, this is not for me. I thought that I was going to run out of oxygen in one dive. And then the other time I had a huge plankton scare me. What made you want to continue and finish?
So I did think of that. Like what all you said, I did think of doing that, but then being diving with you made me realize that it's okay. Nothing's gonna attack me if I don't provoke them. We've trained for all the malfunctions. We can always go back up, and it's nice. I love it. And if anything does hurt me, then I can just go back up.
Yeah, that's awesome. And believe it or not, there's a lot of new divers that may hear that and may relate to the fears and may relate at the fact that you were scared and you still continue to do it. And now you're like, hey, I love it. They're going to see this, or they're going to hear somebody say that and be like, oh, I was in the same shoes. Because you believe it or not, there's a lot of people that they get scared, and it's themselves telling themselves that they can't do it, or themselves listening to the fear, and instead of addressing it, they just quit. And the fact that you said, hey, I was scared, and yes, I was scared a bunch of times, because we had to call a bunch of times. When we went diving, you just got scared, you didn't feel comfortable, and we called it. Hey, you're not feeling it? That's fine. Tomorrow's another day. And now we can say that you're actually into it and you love it. So that's awesome. Dang, plankton's out here trying to destroy people.
Literally the whole entire series, he's been trying to make inventions just so he could destroy the city and become the king.
And he found you. Oh my God.
Wait a second.
You're his tester.
We know where plankton lives.
Yeah, we do.
We can find SpongeBob.
Yep.
We just need to find a pineapple under the sea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only pineapple under the sea.
Yeah. So it sounds like we got to go back to Lake Denton. So
Out of all the places you scuba dived in, which would be your favorite?
I would say Crash Boat.
Yeah. Wait, come to think of it, at Crash Boat, you guys were having a whole adventure. Well, I was just doing front flips in the waves. Like the wave comes, I just headbutt it into a front flip.
yeah.
And I'm not even doing it right.
Yeah.
So I love the current that pushed you and you could just like swim, but then when you were like on the current, you were just flowing. You didn't have to do any pressure. Just saw the animals and then you went. And then the other thing is, I love like all the animals and all the fish and all the different sea creatures that you could see, and it's everywhere. And there's a whole entire environment under us that we know about, but we don't like see until we actually go and see it.
That's crazy. You went from being scared of plankton to seeing other fishes and being okay.
No, I went to being scared of plankton to seeing a baby nurse shark without freaking out.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, so we went to Crash Boat, and Crash Boat is probably one of my favorite places to dive as well, because it's a very, very easy dive. It's very mellow. There's not a lot of current, and there's a lot to see. Like I was surprised how much there is to see. And granted, because of the impacts that boat has had during the last couple years, but essentially Crash Boat is located in Puerto Rico. If you never dove there or went to that beach, you don't have to necessarily dive. You can go swimming with your family if you're visiting or you're a local. But it's a very, very amazing location. A lot of the locals like to swim there. A lot of the tourists come all over the world to swim there and dive there. And basically, Crash Boat is this old pier that was by the U.S. Air Force, and it was owned by the Ramey Air Force. They maintained it all through like World War II and the Cold War era. They used it to recover boats and recover planes that were essentially crashed. That's why it got the name Crash Boat. So that pier, they built the pier and they would have a bunch of boats there, but they also use that pier to recover any crashes or anything that would have. They would send like a crash boat squad, and they would pick up the remnants and do rescue missions and all that stuff. That's why it's named the Crash Boat. So I had a bunch of platforms before Maria, actually. It looked very different. Like now that we went, it looks completely different than what it did back before Maria. Because when the Hurricane Maria came, there was a bunch of platforms, and you could actually dive and swim and do a bunch of stuff off of those platforms.
Yeah,
you didn't even see it.
The boats were coming in and you had to drop it off. And you had to go, and then the boats had to come in. That's why there are platforms. Yeah,
so when Maria came and the Hurricane Maria blasted Puerto Rico and did a lot of damage to Puerto Rico, that all ended up falling to the beach. And that's what you essentially saw. That's what we saw when we were diving. But here's a video. I don't think you've seen this. Here's the video of what the platforms used to look before Maria. So that's a piece of where we went there and we were diving off of. But look at that. That's completely different, right? And you see the platform all the way at the end.
Yeah.
You see that, and you see the other one where they're jumping off of there in that little corner.
Yeah, and look at the boat right there.
Mm-hmm. You see that over there all the way at the end, and they're like, that's another platform where they're jumping. That's what we saw underwater, which is crazy, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's really cool. Maria came and the ocean and the pillars fell into the ocean and the platform fell into the ocean. That's what we're seeing now. So when we were diving, this is what we saw. This is the pillars right here. And as you can see, like
it's the pillars for the platform where it was jumping off.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool. And then there you could see the actual platform. You can see the platform like the floor in the sand. This is around where we saw the Stingray.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, so look at the platform. You see where the
No,
So
that was at the beginning.
yeah, but this is where they would jump from, and that whole thing used to be it just fell on the floor. That whole thing,
but it turns upside
yeah,
down.
it turned upside down. And if you see on the far right there, that's another platform. You see where the stairs were?
Yeah.
That's where the stairs where they used to jump. They used to climb up. You can still see the stairs, which is crazy that you're able to see this, Little Ray, because this is what you would see on a wreck dive, like when a boat sinks or a plane sinks and you're diving and you see the boat. This is kind of the same experience that you would see on a wreck dive. You would essentially see how this structure was before, and then now you're seeing it. And then now that you saw the video, the previous picture, you can kind of imagine how this used to look like before, and then now it looks underwater, which is crazy.
Yeah. It's like Atlantis City, like the whole entire city is underwater.
Yeah, it is like Atlantis. This is look at the structure here.
Yeah, it's so built up that it looks like somebody actually made it in underwater.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's gorgeous. I think it's one of my favorite dives because you kind of get the feeling of a wreck dive while you're very, very shallow. This is probably like 27 feet underwater. It's not even that deep, but it's really, really cool.
It looks like a rat. Wait a second.
Where?
That the whole entire platform, like the little like nose, and then the little like the little ears. Well, like it looks like, what do you call it? I forgot how to say it.
It looks like a rat?
Whiskers?
No, it looks like Rudolph's nose, rat face, and then like a bug's like antenna. Yeah, I don't know how you like, I don't know how to say it. Like the whole entire structure, it just like caught my eye just now. Like I didn't even see it in the dive. It just like looks like a rat, Rudolph, like something.
Yeah, look at the fishes.
So
Fishes are gorgeous.
yeah, but you can see like how they like made all of that. Like I don't even know how did they even make all that? They don't even have hands.
Who?
Fishes, like all that ecosystems, all those like
the coral.
Yeah.
That's one of the beautiful things about the corals is that
Does it grow on its own?
It grows, and it grows into structures, but that's the beauty about wrecks. Sometimes, I don't know if you heard about this, but they'll purposely sink a boat and they'll sink it underwater, or they'll put concrete structures to put it underwater so that corals will grow into it.
Yeah.
And it creates a better ecosystem for the fishes. Because right now, I don't know if you know, but Florida, I'm a little sad for you, because when you're gonna go diving, you're gonna see some places in Florida where the coral's not healthy. Like the corals are beautiful.
Like it's out of color, that like it's like gray or white. That means that has bacteria and you can't go back.
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of the coral are getting sick. Like the hot water in the temperature of the water, it's making there's this weird sickness that's happening in coral, and it's making the coral die. And it's very sad. They start turning white. They have this discoloration. Yeah. And there's a lot of scientists right now trying to help the coral, and they'll essentially building new habitat where the coral can take place. And one of the things that it's good for coral is essentially sinking boats and doing this stuff, doing it safely and creating a natural atmosphere for them.
Where like nothing is growing, and but it's also like, I feel like like, you know, when people use tanks and then they have like when they have their own fish and then they put like structures there.
Yeah.
I feel like some people do that where they have like endangered species, and they put that so then they can like grow and make more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of scientists right now. Disney's doing it, SeaWorld's doing it. There's a lot of national organizations right now that are trying to help the coral, because if you think about any species that are out there, that's very, very important for our survival, not just the ocean,
Like,
but our survival.
Any species is like, every single species on Earth is literally like, we need them.
Exactly. Yes, 100%. Like it's all a change. It's all connected. It's beautiful how everything is interconnected. But in the coral environment, the coral is basically the house of a bunch of fishes. A bunch of fishes depend on coral. It's like Nemo, right? Finding Nemo.
Yeah, that purple coral next to their home.
Yeah. Corals are very, very important. And when you see this dive, this is why I like it, because the corals they're very, very beautiful, and they need our help. So it's really cool. Yeah. So if you take a look at the structure, you can see how the coral has taken over, and it's just gorgeous. Like the fishes are there. They're trying to swim. They're trying to do a good time. But like I mentioned, this does look like a wreck dive, because you have all this, like, it looks like steel, and it's all like wrecked before.
And it looks like that, like, so, like, it looks like a boat.
Yeah, then look at these animals. Like, it's just gorgeous. They're surrounded by beautiful animals.
I love the creatures. Look at all the fish. Yeah, like that one, it looks so blue and like, is that Dory? Wait a second, that looks like Dory. It's Dory.
We found Dory.
We found Dory.
That's awesome.
Oh my god, Dory!
We found Dory.
It's Dory!
Do you think she knows she's lost?
I think she's looking for her parents.
She's looking for her parents.
She's looking for her parents with the seashells.
That's what I don't get. That's what I don't get. She forgets everything, but she always remembers her parents. Like, that makes no sense if she forgets everything. Like, what?
I don't know.
Maybe she got hit, and the only thing she can remember is her parents.
Maybe.
She's fish that. They should name all those types of, the Dory's type of fish.
Yeah.
They should name that type of fish Dory.
Dory?
Yeah, like any fish that is that same type of fish is a Dory.
Yeah, Dory. We saw a bunch of the little creatures during the coral, but we ended up seeing one of my best friends, which is the turtle. Look at this beautiful thing.
It looks so good.
Yeah, turtles are awesome. They're one of my favorite animals. Look at that. He's just going.
He's chilling with that fish.
He's just chilling.
Wait a second, he fives the fish.
He gave him a high five.
He's like, "What's up, bro? I'ma go with my buddies."
Oh my god, it reminds me of that time where you fist bumped that turtle.
The turtle?
Yeah, in the night dive.
Oh, in the night dive. Yeah, the night dive.
Yeah, the Batman.
It was
turtle.
the Batman turtle. It was coming out.
Turtle.
Yeah. The dude. I didn't fist bump him, but he like gave me a "what's up." So yeah, we were in the night dive, and I think we have a video on that. So if you want to see the night dive and the turtle, I'll put a card so you can see it. Long story short, I was diving, and then this turtle comes out, and it was like Batman. It was a Batman. I still call him the Batman turtle, because this turtle came out of the water, and it was like that scene in Batman where
you come out of nowhere.
The bat fell.
Just comes out of nowhere and gives you the side eye.
Yeah, the bat comes out of nowhere, and it's just a bat going towards Bruce Wayne. And this, I promise you, I am diving, I'm pointing the light, and then I'm pointing towards another wreck, because we're doing a small little wreck dive at night. And I point, and this turtle's coming out. It's going like it's like a bat, the bat going towards Batman. And he just comes and passes me by, and he's like, "What's up, dude?" It was awesome. I love turtles. I love turtles. Turtles are the best. Turtles are what scuba divers want to be when they grow up.
Oh yeah, because they're so buoyant and they just like stay. It reminds me of that video that you showed us.
What video?
Of the turtle. The grown-up turtle just chilling. And the baby turtle. The student.
And then the baby turtle?
Yeah.
Yeah, the student turtle.
You're talking about this one here?
All the scuba divers just have to stay calm into the boom bag.
So this is how you can know when a diver is an experienced diver and when a diver is a newbie diver. So the old diver, like an experienced diver, he's just chilling, and then you see the new diver, he's just going crazy.
So you're just buoyant, good. And it's literally me.
How come almost all turtles, adult turtles, like when they see you, they just side eye you. They're like,
yeah, because turtles are chill dudes.
Yeah, but also they can't turn their heads. Well, not like really.
Yeah, turtles are they're very awesome creatures. In addition, though, to those turtles, we saw the turtles. We saw Dory. We saw a bunch of the different creatures, and then one of the ones that I love too. Anytime that I dive, if I see this animal, it's amazing.
Which animal?
The stingray.
Oh yeah, the stingray. Yeah. He's just like the Batman turtle. I didn't even see him. He came out from the shadows.
Yeah,
literally.
Look how cool they are, Little Rae. Like, look at how they just.
You see how they move? They look.
Stingrays and turtles are the perfect scuba dive.
Yeah, because they're so buoyant.
Stingrays, turtles.
Yeah, stingrays are they're just awesome, and they were by that stingray was actually by the platform, like the sunken platform. You can see a different angle.
It literally circled it.
Yeah, you can definitely look at all that curl that just grew in that platform. It's just awesome.
So nice.
Yeah, that's why I love reef dive. I love things that have a bunch of coral because there's just so much wildlife. It's amazing. Like you just can't beat it. You just can't beat it. And it's crazy because when you were diving and we were seeing the stuff, we were looking at different animals. I think it was really cool to see how calm you were. The animals compared how you were before. Like you saw all these animals and she was just calm. She was just going to it. Sometimes in my head, I'm like, I had to tell her, I was like, yo, like you need to calm down. Like, remember, keep the hands to yourself. Cause she's just like, hey, buddy. And you got to keep your hands to yourself.
I kind of follow that fish.
Yeah.
It literally goes like this.
Yeah, she literally goes like that. And it's funny because she's trying to touch, she's trying to basically touch a little. I'm like, oh, no, you got to keep your hands to yourself. And this is in the beginning of the actual dive. And when we were going, this is where we saw the nurse shark. You see right here? He's just chilling. It's a baby nurse shark.
Yeah.
You can barely tell, but
it looks like a snake.
It's behind the pillar.
Yeah, it pointed at it.
It literally looks like behind us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I saw that nurse shark. I was so nice, but it's a shark. I didn't want to touch that, but I kept on trying to get the fish. But then I realized like it's literally beautiful how any animal can be inside of a habitat, and it goes like right inside of there. I love the nurse shark. It was like so nice, but I think it's like what you said, like it just like clicked that it was like my second home and all that. Like I just loved like the ecosystem and how everything like everything just goes into place, and how the nurse shark is just chilling there, just like waiting and just sleeping, and then it goes with like the vibe of like how everything's moving and how like the food chain is and how they work together to make all that happen.
Yeah, it was a good dive for you. I think this is the one where, like, when I was mentioning that something clicked. Like divers usually they go diving for a couple times, and then that's when it clicks. Something clicks, and they're like, "Oh, okay, I could do this. This is awesome," and it becomes fun. This was your dive that I saw that you were over your fears, you're over everything, and you were just like, "No, this is really, really cool. I like it, and I want to continue doing it." And if you take a look. This is where like we started doing the dive, and you were practicing your Superman, I believe. Just to kind of like it, we'll call it Superman, but it's essentially doing this thing where you're holding off.
Yeah, where you like do this and you just like find your buoyancy, where you just lay down flat and you just find your buoyancy, but not flat on the floor, like flat in the water.
Yeah. So again, here you're trying to be Little Mermaid and talking.
Back to the fishies.
And then this is the top. So this is where Crash Boat. There's still platforms that you go, and you're able to walk through. And this is the bottom part. So there's a top part and there's a bottom part. We're under the actual structure that's still there today. And look at those animals. Animals are awesome.
Yeah, literally funny. They look so cute. They just look so... Yeah. And as you can see, I did like the thing where you do that so then you can like go down.
They're just you're trying to calm yourself there, and now you're doing like the little Superman to kind of stay afloat and do the stuff. And like if you notice, you're not necessarily doing this a lot, which is awesome. That was really good. That was really, really good. And then there's another one where you're like have good form, but
you could see how whatchamacallit, how like the ecosystems, just like the environment is just like perfect because they all have their home. They're all just chilling. We just see them. This looks so nice.
Yeah, and here you're playing with your buoyancy again. I don't know if you noticed, but she was putting air in her BCD so that she can compensate a little bit, and she doesn't stay. She's not like going down or going up. So she's just trying to do that. And then if you look there here, look who was there chilling this whole time.
The turtle.
The turtle.
Wait a second, and his fish friend is right there. Right there.
Oh, now I see the turtle.
His fish friend is right there.
Hey,
that's the guy that he high-fived.
Yes.
What the heck?
Say that. You stole my man. You stole my line.
Yeah, that was the dude that he just went high-five to.
They must be like best friends.
They must be like best friends. They're chilling.
Besties.
So yeah, so she's out here trying to get her buoyancy down, and then make sure she's compensating a little bit as you go down. You kind of have to put a little bit more higher so you can stay. And then out of nowhere, look at that, it's the turtle. Turtle's just chilling there, and then with his best friend too. That's awesome. Yeah, I told you, turtles are really chill dudes. They're really chill dudes. What?
So turtles are like the chillest ones in the sea, and capybaras are like the chillest animals on land.
I know, they don't even attack.
The capybaras?
Capybaras.
Do you not know what capybaras are?
No.
Oh, wait.
They literally hang out with crocodiles, with alligators.
Yeah, they can hang out with the most dangerous things and nothing happens.
I know that. I know the animal.
They can hang out with an elephant, and they'll literally survive.
Yeah, they're like the same, except they live in different environments.
Yeah, that's how you want to be when you're doing it. You're barely doing anything. You're just moving your legs, and you're staying buoyant. You see how I'm not like moving my hands or anything, or it's just literally the legs.
Yeah,
the legs are doing it.
Yeah, because he's holding the GoPro. He's just nice. His hand is not doing anything.
This is how you become an old turtle.
And then versus me going everywhere.
Yeah. You're just all over the place like, ah! That's the goal. You want to be like a turtle. Turtle. But this is a good one though. This is a good one where we both were swimming, and then you can kind of see where you were swimming pretty good as well. Like you had your buoyancy down, and you weren't doing much with your hands. Everything was more with your feet. In Crash Boat, you have the platforms, and you can jump. Like we can jump from it, and a lot of the locals like to jump from it. So this is what it looks like. What's still there today that hasn't been taken down by Maria. So where Maria took it down is farther over there, and she's actually pointing there, but I'm jumping on it, and you can see where the pillars are, and this is where Ryo jumps from it. So this actually was taking, I think part of this collapsed now with Hurricane Aaron. There's a hurricane that just passed in August, And I think some of that where we just jump, it's gone now.
Really?
Yeah, it's gone now. They have a sign on Crash Boat when you go in. They have a sign that you can't walk in the platform anymore because Hurricane Erin came now in August and it knocked down part of that platform. I don't know how much, but I think a lot of it down.
No.
That was now in August.
Like when in August?
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it just happened. And hopefully the government of not the government, but the city, hopefully the community, the municipality do something because this is a major attraction. Like even if you let it go down for so that people can dive, but I would essentially do a new structure and even a couple different platforms because Crash Boat is known for one for the diving and two for the platforms. If they add it back or they do something that can attract the tourists back to that area,
they'll have even more money.
It would be awesome. So I would love to see that. I would love to see the municipality or the government of that city, come up and create a project there. Basically, do a little dock and do a couple of platforms. It doesn't have to be in the same spot because you want to keep that wreck there.
Yeah.
But kind of like to the side where they can kind of have the same experience. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be like so nice.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool. It would be really, really cool if they do that. Let me see the Crash Boat dive. That's when I knew that like you loved diving. And then when I knew that after that dive, you were just gonna be hooked because I don't know if you noticed, but then this is where I started noticing on that dive that you were having technical difficulties with your equipment because you were fine. You were doing all the buoyancy. And then out of nowhere, you just started like losing. You started fighting with just to stay afloat. And you could just tell that something was off. And I was trying to understand what happened because you were just fine. And it wasn't until the second dive that when we got out and we went for the second dive that I noticed what happened. And it's because your strap from your tank became a little bit undone.
Yeah.
We secured it and we made sure that everything was fine, but there was another piece behind the tank that it was loose. I've never seen that configuration before, so I didn't know to look for it. And then on that second dive, she was just losing her composure. She was just going in and although she was doing that, you could tell that she was adjusting it and she was trying to fight with it and adjust it. And then she didn't freak out. She was just going with the flow and she finished the dive and she wasn't complaining. She knew something was wrong. But that's when I noticed, I was like, all right, something's off here. And that helped you. I think this experience helped you with when we did the Blue Heron Bridge.
Yeah.
And you were having that. So when we went to Blue Heron and we were having a good time, we were doing one of the dives. We ended up getting there. And what happened? What happened? Something went wrong.
So we were like right next to like this sculpture, like because we were going around these sculptures. That's how you know that you're good at diving. That's how you know where you are in diving because they put these like sculptures there so then you don't get lost and you figure out where you're going. And so we were like right next to one. We were going, and my ankle just started like it could not do anymore. I was like, Papi. So I was like, Papi, I like my ankle hurts. I cannot do this. So he takes off my fin, takes off my water shoe, he takes off his fin, he takes off his booty, he takes off his sock, he puts the sock on my foot, then he puts my water shoe back on, he puts my fin on, then he puts his booty on, then he puts his fin on, and then we're good to go. But in the middle of all that process, I get stung by a jellyfish. And I don't even know where this thing comes from because it stung right as I like noticed that something like hurt. I saw like all around me there was nothing. Like nothing there. Either it was so clear like that or it was like extremely tiny or both. Because like I could not see any of it. But he was that like what's the thing like instructor?
Dive master.
He was the dive master, so I didn't call it because he was like in charge of this whole entire other group. So we kept on going. We checked our air to see, and then we kept on going. And after we saw this big like starfish, it was like this big and then this wide. We went back to see it after we were done with the dive and we were swimming, but it wasn't there.
Yeah, I think that was an awesome experience for the students too, because we went to Blue Heron Bridge, and then there was a big group. There was like 2 groups within each other, and then we have the instructor, we have the group, and we have another group, and then myself, we're guiding it. And sure enough, something was happening, something was going wrong, and I think that was a great experience. And I was just so proud because any times before when something happened, she got really scared. So she just got scared, and we had to call it. This time, no, she's like, no, we're gonna do this, and she was fine. We take out the fin. I take out her fin, take out the booty, take out the sock. Take out everything else, and I took out my booty, my fin, my sock. Put the booty, put the sock on her. Then I put everything on myself, put everything on her while the students were waiting. So that's the first time these students have ever dove. So I think it's a great experience because they were like, oh, wait a minute. They got to see technical issues happening and how we stay calm. And we just did whatever we needed to do. She had oxygen. She stayed calm. We did everything. So it was like one of those lessons that you kind of hear about. It was happening in front of them, and they were able to just know from it. So I think that was really cool. And I think that this dive, the crash boat dive, was a really good lesson for you, because now when you had a bigger issue, you're like, wait a minute, I'm fine. I have my oxygen. I'm good. And we can go from there. You think crash boat was special?
I would say like the waves and how Grandpa and Emma came, and then how you guys were having an adventure while I was just headbutting the waves into a front flip while I'm not even doing the right front flip.
What about you?
Well, I would say like I love like this. Like I loved how like I got to dive and I got to like swim, and I got to like also swim after the dive, and I love like the sea creatures, and even on the shore and like just swimming, you could even see the fishes. Like it was so nice, and I love jumping off, and I love all the like the stingray, the turtle that high five the fish, Dory. It's like the whole entire thing was my favorite part.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts of that trip. It's like you mentioned, like the grandparents coming in, spending a good time, your grandpa saying, hey, let's go diving. Like he even offered because he used to scuba dive before. He even offered to go, he wanted to go diving with us. He's like, hey, I'm going to go rent the gear and I want to go diving with you guys. And I was really surprised. I was like, you want to go diving with us? He's like, yeah, he wanted to go diving. And I think that was awesome because he wanted to spend some time with you guys. And I think that was really cool. And we tried to get the gear, but the place was closed. The dive shop was closed, which is really cool.
Yeah, but also I don't know how he can dive though. Like you need to know how to swim to dive, but he doesn't know how to swim and he dives.
It's not that he doesn't know how to swim. He knows how to swim. It's not his favorite thing to do. And I can't blame him. I really can't blame him because again, he knows how to swim. He just doesn't know how to. He doesn't like to swim. It's not his favorite activity. And I can't blame him because of one person.
Grandma Doris.
Grandma Doris. And what did Grandma Doris like?
The beach.
Yes.
The devil.
The beach is the devil. So all roads lead back to Grandma Doris. It's not necessarily that my dad doesn't know how to swim. It's just my grandma hated the beach. My grandma, anything that revolved water, she hated. And she purposely didn't teach him how to swim.
Even baths?
Well, not baths, like obviously.
Yeah, so like
she likes drinking water. She likes holy water, and she likes taking a shower with water.
Oh, I didn't think about that. She likes drinking water. She likes holy water. She likes taking a shower. That's great. That's definitely great. But she hated the beach. The beach. We live really close to the beach, and she saw a lot of kids drown and tourists and stuff. So for her, the beach was the devil, and she purposely didn't teach her kids how to swim. My dad learned, And then my uncle just learned recently. He just learned recently. He's like 40 something. Maybe no, he's 50 something. But no, is he 60? Oh my God. But yeah, he just learned how to swim recently. So my dad knows how to swim. It's not his favorite thing, but I enjoy the fact that he even wanted to go diving with us. Like it meant the world to me when he said, "Hey, I think I'm gonna go diving with Ryo because I want to go diving with Ryo." It made my day. I was like, "Oh my God, he's never diving with me. Like I've dove for like over 10 years, and he's never been like, hey, I know you're gonna go dive in Puerto Rico. Let's go diving." He's never said that with me. So the fact that he said, "Hey, we're gonna go diving. I know you're gonna go diving with Ryo. I want to go rent some gear so I can go diving with her." That meant the world to me. That's awesome. I was very, very happy. It didn't ended up playing out because the dive shop was closed, but to me that was very, very special. The fact that he like said, "Yeah, let's go." It's awesome. And then all I thought when he said that, all I thought is Grandma Doris would be alive right now. She would be like, "Raymond, what are you doing? You're going diving. The beach is the devil." Which is awesome. Yeah, I think that's why the crash boat dive was special. So I think something clicked on you. You were able to dive. My grandpa wanting to essentially dive with you guys and spend the time. He took the day and we had a really good time. It was a road trip. That was really cool. And then just the overall animal. So I think that was a really, really cool thing. And then you finally got certified. You can actually dive. You're good. You're not scared of anything anymore. It's really cool. So what do you want to do what animals or anything do you want to do when you learn how to dive?
Jellyfish, no return.
The blobfish?
I'm not saying it again. That is my official offer. A blowfish.
Are there any other things?
Yeah, because doesn't the blobfish live like super far under the ocean?
Yeah, and barely only 100 people have been down there.
Blobfish lives in the cold, deep waters of coast Australia, Tasmania, and New
Zealand. At the depths between 2,000 and
between 2,000 and 4,000 feet, 16 to 1,200 meters.
Yep, there's no way we're gonna be able to do that. It's highly pressure depths. At these high pressure, like we can't do it.
Yeah,
that's why they're blobs. That's why they're blobs because
there's so much pressure that's pulling them down.
Yeah, and they have to be kind of like a jelly. Like their body has to be kind of like jelly because anything else, any big creature would get crushed. That explains it. Yeah. But yeah, there's no way. Listen, there's no way that could be the trade-off because there's no way you can scuba dive and see a blobfish. There's no way.
But wait a second. How do people even do that? How do they know about blobfishes?
Well, there's submarines.
Yeah, but you said that big things will get crushed. A submarine would get crushed.
Okay, right? so think about it this way. So
I don't get the logics.
Yeah. Okay. So think about the world. This is the world.
Yes.
And then you have the ocean and you have the sky.
Yes.
Right? Where the ocean lies, right? Under it, there's a bunch of atmosphere. So every time that you go down in a different atmosphere, there's just a lot more pressure. So imagine that you are a person going down in the ocean. The farther that you get, it's more pressure and more pressure and more pressure. That's why you have to equalize when you go down. That's why you have to equalize because your ears, they have this little thing in there, basically your eardrum. You have it and you have to equalize. That way when you go like this, you're adding oxygen or pressure. You're adding it back and it goes into your tubes and it just adds a pressure there. And then it combines, it fights against the water, right? Yeah. So the way that submarines work or these equipments is that when they're going down, one, they have to be like the body of the submarine has to be really, really strong. But when they're going down, that oxygen is working as a pressure. It's like it's pressurized, meaning that the oxygen is making it stay steady, and not just that the body of the
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah, and it's like, and that doesn't happen. That doesn't just happen when you're going down in the ocean, right? So like that's why submarines, they have to be one, pressurized, two, they have to be a really good material, and as you're going down, it's going to be good. However, it goes the same for planes.
Yeah.
So when you're in a plane, imagine like in a commercial plane when we go to Puerto Rico, when we're flying to Puerto Rico, that plane is pressurized, meaning that they have a bunch of oxygen on it, and it's just pressurized. If you were to open the door, if you were to open the door when it's flying, like it would, all the pressure would go out of the plane.
Yeah, and it would suck everything up.
Yeah, it will try to suck a lot of it up until the pressure of the plane and the pressure outside is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened to that one submarine, the submarine that like kind of collapsed a couple years back.
Oh, yeah.
The pressure that was in it, there was a flaw, like just a little bit of flaw or weakness on a submarine at that depth, and it can break the pressure and it just crushes it. That's what happened to the submarine. But anyways, but the blobfish is so special because it can live under that depth, and it doesn't have this, like the composition is not strong, it's whatever, it's a little blobby. So it can live down there. So there's no way you can see it. And then that's how essentially that's why we were able to discover it. So we have I don't know if you've seen the movie The Titanic. You should have seen the movie with Titanic. You see
I think so.
You see how they have the submarine here, and they have a little robot that goes in. Yeah, it's just to prevent that. But yeah, no. I give you a blobfish because there's no physical way that we're going to be able to dive and see a blobfish. What are the things would you like to do when you learn how to scuba dive? Or would you like to see when you learn how to scuba dive? A dolphin? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that would be a good one. A dolphin.
Yeah, but remember, never bring a pufferfish, or else they will probably try to use you as their ball.
Yeah. Well, you got to be careful with. Yeah,
you
don't
just have a pufferfish, and they're like, "Ooh, ball! I'm gonna use you too."
Yeah.
No, or if they use a pufferfish and then they get lost, and then they're all delirious, and then they use you.
Yeah, I've never seen a dolphin when I've been diving before. I've seen a shark. I pet a shark. I give fist pump, but I've never seen a dolphin in real, out in the when I'm diving. I've never seen it. I think that would be amazing to see. I think it would be an amazing experience.
Yeah, especially like I don't like how slimy they are though. They're so slimy.
Well, underwater should be fine. You're not gonna notice.
Yeah, because that's underwater.
Okay, so you want to see a dolphin? What else?
School of fish.
A school of fish? That's cool.
Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah.
All right,
A
so
school of Dories.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Wait a second.
Yeah, school of Dories.
Yeah, just like going through. Wait a second. I already
Hi,
imagined
who are
it.
you? I'm Dory. I'm looking for my parents. Hi, I'm Dory. I'm Dory's parents.
That night we followed Ryo's scuba diving journey, from getting certified to diving in some, amazing different locations and spots like the crash boat. We saw turtles, we saw stingrays, we saw a baby nurse shark. And then we talked about the equipment hiccups and the importance of getting over your fear, like your oxygen tank and your equipment and animals, which they're not going to feed off of you. And we talked about how dolphins love pufferfishes. So thank you for being part of the adventure, and see you next time on our evening chats.
Bye.
Bye.